The 1982 U.S. Open film is brought to you by the United States Tennis Association, the national governing body of tennis. In the summer of 1982, the title of Best Tennis Player in the World is up for grabs. Through countless hours of practice and a million miles of travel, the reigning monarchs and rising stars of tennis have gotten so tough that no one can dominate the international scene. Martina Navratilova rules the women with her power, but the competition is fierce, the challenge inspired. For the men, it seems that tennis, the game itself, is king. So when it comes time to play the U.S. Open, the leaders are playing on pedigree. And 1982 turns out to be a year of vintage champions. Bjorn Borg, who although he had never won the U.S. Open, had been a force in the game for several devastating seasons, has put himself into temporary retirement, leaving an open shot for someone to rule the court. But no one man can ascend the throne. John McEnroe is the three-time defending U.S. Open champion. His brilliant blend of speed, agility, and aggression has powered him to the top. Can the top seed psych himself to win his fourth Open championship?
I just try to be proud of the accomplishment, and if I can do it again, I'd be very happy to be able to. If I make people play my game and play it well, then I think I have a shot against anybody. But if you get tentative and play other people's games, that's when you get in trouble.
Ivan Lendl has won 11 out of 18 tournaments in 1982. But the Czech has yet to win a major. Is this his year?
I'm 22 years old, and, I feel like I'm good enough to win one of the big ones. But if I don't, I'm not going to quit because I didn't. I will have a few more years, and I will give it another try.
Jimmy Connors has made the transition from bad boy to good guy. He beat McEnroe to win Wimbledon. Can he do it again here?
You work all year for Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, and I got to keep my head about me while everybody around me is losing theirs. If I can keep my eyes set and my mind concentrating on what I have to do here, then just don't worry about it. Go ahead and do it.
1982 is a champagne season for Martina Navratilova. Ranked number 1 in the world, she has won 37 matches in a row, including Wimbledon, and is not lacking in confidence.
This year, obviously, I'm the favorite coming in, even though I've never won it. And as far as I know, I'm playing really well. So, there's nothing wrong in thinking that you can win, and saying that you can win, and believing in it.
Chris Evert Lloyd prowls the courts as if she owns the vineyard. She has won the U.S. Open 5 times. But Martina has stolen her number 1 position, and Chris clearly wants it back.
I'm not thinking about the fact that if I win it, I will win it 6 times. I'm thinking more in terms of this year. It would really cap this year off for me, and it would make it a good year for me if I did win the Open.
Coming off a series of injuries, defending champion Tracy Austin is anxious.
I'm going to give it 110%, and I'll just have to see what happens. I would love to win, and I'll give it 110%. I always do, and I always will.
The opening rounds are heady with upsets. Sue Mascarin surprises Billie Jean King in the first round. Number 5 seed Vitas Gerulaitis and number 7 Jose Luis Clerc fall in the first. For the women, 10th seeded Barbara Potter loses to Roz Fairbank, while number 9 Bettina Bunge and 11 Mima Josevic never make it past the third round. Up-and-coming Chip Hooper outserves Roscoe Tanner, while veteran Elina Stasi shakes 10th seed Johan Kriek. Kim Warwick measures Yannick Noah, and Rodney Harmon leaps into the quarterfinals with a 5-set victory over 8th-seeded Elliot Telcher. Pam Shriver was a U.S. Open finalist in 1978. Although she and Martina Navratilova are close friends and doubles partners, Pam has been erratic and Martina brilliant all year. But in their quarterfinal match, Pam uses her strong serve and powerful approach to blunt Martina's game. A doctor later reveals that Martina has been stricken with a muscle-weakening viral condition picked up from a friend's pet cat, but she still wins the first set. Ms. Shriver wins the second set tiebreaker and then stuns her good friend and herself by taking the third set and the match. It is a moment of mixed emotion for Pam.
I'm a little bit sad for Martina. She's my good friend and doubles partner. But, I had a feeling about the match that you can't. It doesn't happen very often. You get a feeling, and I just had a feeling. Even when I got out and was blown off the first set, I just felt something that I thought I was going to play well, and as it turned out, I played the best match of my life.
In one way, I'm glad it was Pam and not anybody else. I wish she could be more happy about it than she was. It was like she was sorry that she beat me, at the end. So I know what she was going through, and I guess if I had to lose a match, I would prefer it to be Pam than anybody else.
Tracy Austin has played only one tournament since Wimbledon because of injuries and isn't quite match tough. The fluid Hana Mndlikova uses grace and pace, runs Tracy around, and ousts her in the quarterfinals. Pittsburgh's surprising Gretchen Rush has upset Mndlikova and six-seeded Wendy Turnbull to reach the quarters. But Andrea Jaeger, still only 17 years old, finally ends her run. When unheralded Bonnie Gadusek outsteadies Chris Evert Lloyd in the first set, a buzz goes through the crowd. But Chris becomes inspired and puts away the newcomer to gain the semis.
I always thought that 4 or 5 players could win this tournament, and I still do feel that way. I certainly don't feel well now that Martina's out. It's in the hat for me. I don't feel that way at all.
Hana Mndlikova and Pam Shriver certainly aren't conceding. It is a confrontation between fluidity and power that produces some remarkable shot making. The two have met twice before, with Mndlikova winning both contests. Fresh from victories over higher seeds, each has been to the U.S. Open finals and is anxious to get back. Hana wins the first set, but as in many of her matches, her concentration seems to fade, and Pam reverses her in the second. Tied at a set apiece, they are playing one set for the finals. In the first game, Mndlikova has her 6-foot, 20-year-old opponent down 30-40. A service break so early in the deciding set could be vital. Broken. Mndlikova takes a 1-love lead in the third and final set. At 1-3, Shriver needs to hold serve if she has any chance to get back into the match. She has been down a set to Martina and prevailed. Can she come back against the graceful Czech? Hana breaks Pam for a second time. And now all she has to do is concentrate and hold serve twice, and she's into the finals. Serving at 5-2, 40-15, Hana goes for the match. It's good. And Hana goes to the finals for the second time in 3 years. Chris Evert Lloyd is on a roll. She is taking nothing for granted in her quest for her 6th Open title. Andrea Jaeger will be a true test. The only thing that almost stops her is a piece of cheesecake. Early in the 2-week competition, Chris contracted food poisoning and almost withdrew. The question is, can Chris muster the strength and stamina necessary to beat Andrea? Chrissy has recovered, and it is Andrea who bears the brunt of the attack. Evert Lloyd bears down with her famed two-handed backhand. Andrea has beaten her 3 times this year, but today it is all Chrissy, and Andrea can only appreciate the shot making. The second set is not much different. Long testing rallies with Chris hitting everything and Andrea recovering as best she can. Be an Evert Lloyd Mndlikova final.
With Andrea, I hit a lot of short balls. With Hana, I've got to hit with a lot of depth, and I've got to hit the ball hard and play aggressively from the baseline. She's tough to play because she's so unpredictable, and she, like today, I watched a little bit of the match, and for 4 games she looked brilliant, and then maybe it's too easy, and she started making bad mistakes. But I do think she's been concentrating a lot better this tournament than she has in a long time.
On a sunny Saturday afternoon, the two tough competitors hold serve through the first 6 games. But at 15:40, Chris passes the Czech. Hana isn't crazy about the call, but she is broken. Hana and Chrissy met in the 1980 Open Finals with Evert Lloyd victorious. The pair have played 13 times, with Chris winning 11 and Hana only 2. In her 12-year career, Chris has played in 31 Grand Slam events, winning 12, placing in the finals in 9 others, and never once bowing before the semis. And this is the Open, Chris's special province. Though Mndlikova reaches breakpoint 3 times, Evert Lloyd holds serve. Down a break, Hana tries to vary the pace. But Chris is no longer simply a baseline player. She breaks again and takes the first set. Hana is a sleek and unpredictable shooter with a full arsenal of remarkable strokes. But Chris never lets her catch fire. She's playing with a grim determination, as if her place in history is on the line. The second set is a runaway. Though Hana covers the court with her customary sparkle, she is up against a woman who will not be denied. Chris serves for the title. Her 6th U.S. Open title and a record-shattering 66th match victory at the Open. If there was ever any doubt, Chris Evert Lloyd's place in U.S. Open history is secure. In the women's doubles final, Rosie Casals and Wendy Turnbull gain a decisive victory over 5th-seeded Barbara Potter and Sharon Walsh. The mixed doubles title goes for the 2nd consecutive year to Kevin Curran and Ann Smith, who beat the new team of Ferdy Tagan and Barbara Potter. Curran becomes the Open's lone double champion when he and Steve Denton outslugged Victor Amaya and Hank Pfister. In the juniors, Australia's number 2 seed Pat Cash needs only 2 sets to defeat number 1, France's Guy Forget. For the girls, Beth Hurd beats Gretchen Rush. In men's quarterfinal action, Yvonne Lendl finally puts an end to Kim Warwick's string of upsets. The Australian Warwick has beaten Clark and Noah and pushes the Czech before going down. In previous Opens, number 6 seed Gene Mayer has been hurt by injuries. But this year, John McEnroe needs a tough 5 sets to take him. Poet and former champion Guillermo Vilas has not gotten past the 4th round since winning the Open in 1977. But he disposes of Tom Gullickson and heads for the semis. Jimmy Connors ends Rodney Harmon's 2-fisted dream and moves to meet Vilas in the semifinal. Jimmy has been on good behavior all week, but that may be coming to an end.
Every round you get a little bit more pumped. And, I mean, I haven't gone berserk yet, but it's coming. It can come anytime. It's just the kind of thing that probably the bigger the match and the bigger the situation, the more that's liable to happen. And, semifinal time is a good time for it to come around.
Connors is true to his word. Guillermo Vilas beat him convincingly in the 1977 finals by outthinking, outplaying, and outfoxing him. This time it is Connors who is on top of his game. Breakpoint, 4th set. Connors up 2 sets to 1. Connors isn't concerned about embarrassing his opponents. His outbursts were once a little more colorful. Now he uses them and some great tennis to win over the crowd. Connors serving at match point. The bad boy has turned into a crowd pleaser.
Probably the things that I used to do 8 and 10, 12 years ago, I still do now. But now the people and everybody probably realizes that what I do has always been to help me play better tennis. It gets me eager, gets me pumped up, makes me play the kind of game that I enjoy playing and they enjoy seeing. And maybe it just took the people a while to understand that.
Ivan Lendl has been the hottest man on the tour all year long. In the past 18 months, Lendl has beaten McEnroe 5 straight times while losing only 1 set. He has developed the strokes and power to disorganize the tempestuous 3-time Open champion. And amazingly, he is ready to do it again. Very quickly, Lendl opens up a 2-set lead. McEnroe is usually an ace at service return, but Lendl's heavy second serve spin and angled responses make him cautious. In their last 3 matches, Mac has broken Lendl only twice. Unable to mount a serious charge, Mac feels his title slipping away while he battles for composure. But he is a champion, and he will not bow without a struggle. Tiebreaker, sudden death. If McEnroe loses, it's over. John holds a 5-2 lead and has 2 serves from the set. But an errant volley and a double fault do him in. Suddenly he is down 5-6. Very unexpectedly, McEnroe faces match point. Charging the net, McEnroe finesses a beautiful volley and battles back to a tie. A brilliant cross-court return. Lendl is 1 point from dethroning the king. That's it. The champion's 3-year reign is ended. And Ivan Lendl, who has never won a Grand Slam event, moves into the finals. John McEnroe moves reluctantly off center stage. In this vintage year, it is young wine against old spirits. Lendl has won 11 tournaments in 1982. Connors has won Wimbledon. Connors has beaten his Czech rival 8 times. Lendl demolished Connors 6-1, 6-1 3 weeks ago. As strange as it sounds, Connors, once the wild child of the international tennis circuit, has become a grand old man. And at age 30, is being challenged by a player 8 years his junior, who all year long was almost invincible. Jimmy has developed a new serve for the Open, tossing the ball further forward and getting more body into it. It is working well for him. Lendl, a noted worrier, has not slept well the night before and is slow to get going. Jimmy, on the other hand, is ready for action and wastes no time, breaking Lendl in the 6th game and serving out the first set. Ivan, at his usual best, possesses a punishing serve and lashing ground strokes. But in the first 2 sets, they are rarely in evidence as Jimmy pounces on everything and hardly lets his opponent get a stroke in edgewise. Having broken Lendl twice, Connors is serving at set point for the 2nd set. Ivan is in trouble. He looks desperately for a way to get his game going. With his serve deserting him and Connors returning like a demon, he is broken in the 3rd game, 3rd set. Jimmy looks like he's got it. But you can't count Lendl out yet. This is a man who has only lost 7 tournament matches all year. His serve returns and some of his confidence, and he breaks Connors to get back into the set. At 4-5, Jimmy is trying to stay on serve. Now it is Connors who is on the defensive. Game and 3rd set to Lendl. The best answer to a service break is to break right back. And in the 1st game, Connors goes on the attack. They both hold serve as Jimmy advances toward the title. But Lendl is no pushover. 3 games later, he brings Connors to the net and then passes him to even the set at 2 games apiece. In the next game, Connors steps up the pace. Lendl is broken. Connors takes a 3-2 lead. Jimmy is inspired now. He is on target for the championship. Connors holds serve for 5-3 and needs 1 more game for the title. Lendl is firm, but Connors is totally pumped up. If Ivan is rattled by Jimmy's showboating, he's not saying. He's finally got his concentration, but he may have found it too late. Lendl holds. Now Jimmy will serve at match game. Connor's decisive put away puts him 2 points from victory. It's down to 1. And Jimmy can taste it. Lendl hopes his string hasn't run out. But Jimmy hasn't won this title in 4 years, and he's going for it in a big way. The new champion, like a fine wine growing to maturity. Jimmy Connors becomes only the 5th man in history to twice win the U.S. Open and Wimbledon in the same year. Ivan Lendl will return. In 1982, Chris Evert, Lloyd, and Jimmy Connors have returned to victorious form. They are indeed vintage champions.
Probably throughout the whole 2 weeks, the thing that I did best was concentrate on what I was doing and focus in on one thing, and that was just winning the tournament.